Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome to this new moon reading for July 23. So let's take a look. We got a 4-card reading which I drew with my community group, and we've been having a look at these cards for the last hour or so, and diving into some of the different meanings and the messages, and I'm going to make this a more concise form of message so that it can be a simple and watchable message for this time in our lives. Let's take a look. Now, there's a theme in the new moons which I hadn't realized, but I was reminded by my lovely group members who told me that this is the third new moon in a row where the devil has made himself present. Okay. But I was journeying with the devil when this card came up, and I was looking into it, and I was taking it. So these are the first 2 cards of a 4-card reading, by the way. So I was looking into the devil and looking at what are some of the stories and the messages that he brings to us. And one of them that's really strong is this message of nakedness. Now, I remember... what did I say? I remember now. The devil is often seen as something which is evil and naughty and disastrous and going to tell you dark, subconscious messages that make you do terrible things and that make you betray your truth and your heart. And this is what we think the devil is all about. And yet I've never seen really the devil this way. I see him more as a messenger who highlights and shines his torch upon our more lower vibrational addictive beliefs and patterns and stories. And the lowest of the vibrational beliefs, or at least one of those foundation beliefs of which many other beliefs are based, is this idea of separation and this idea of difference and individuality and this idea of divided reality. And the devil comes to show us how attached we are to that mundaneness and the 3D reality that we are convinced is the one truth that we need to focus on more than anything else, which may be true in a way, but let's dive into this. And what I was looking at more than anything else is the nakedness of these 2 characters, and how in our society and in our collective consciousness, as in the Western world more than maybe in indigenous societies, but in the Western world we are taught that nakedness is shameful. We should be afraid to be naked, which is incredibly symbolic, since nakedness is just when we are seen as we are, when we're not covered up, when we're not masked, when we're not trying to hide something, when we're not afraid to be seen. And so nakedness is a beautiful virtue. It's a virtue of being, and something that's required in order for us to actually be intimate, firstly with ourselves, and consequently with other people. And you can't really be intimate with somebody else if we're holding on to a variety of different beliefs that make us afraid of being seen and being naked and being honest and being ourselves. And we can't really love ourselves if there's this program of shame around being naked. How can we have a shame of being seen and loving ourselves at the same time? How can we be afraid of showing our naked body to the world and at the same time love our naked body? And it's part of why an exaggerated dislike of our bodies is being manifest in many people in the world today, where people want to pay much more attention on what clothes we wear than how our body might look. We might go to the gym and really work out so that we can look really good physically without actually necessarily doing the work behind to feel good inside of ourselves. We might, I don't know, cover ourselves with makeup, get plastic surgery, and I don't know, throw Botox in our face so that we can look younger or so that we can look more sexy in some way. And this attachment to image, or this attachment to cover up the way we truly are, or who we are behind all of our masks and all of our coverings, is one of our fundamental illnesses in this world. And the devil comes to show us that. The devil comes to take our clothes off and say, but this is you naked. And normally our result would be, oh no, I'm so afraid to be naked, afraid to be judged, afraid to be seen, afraid to have my true essence be known. There's something symbolically interesting about the nakedness and how there's a shame around it in our conditioning and in our society. And I don't feel immune to it. I definitely feel that shame inside of me, and the fear of being judged, and that, I'm confident about taking my clothes off sometimes, but not always. And there is this self-doubt that comes up in, oh, how's somebody else going to judge me because I am already judging myself? Can I look in the mirror, stand naked and go, oh, wow, I love what I see? Can I do this? And the world today is having problems doing this, and the youth of today are having big problems doing this. The big problems loving themselves, because a lot of media is telling us that we should look a certain way and be a certain way, and it's very difficult not to buy into the idea, well, if I change the way I look, then my insecurities will disappear. But that's not exactly true. We can hide, we can cover up, we can put on a different appearance in order to hide who we truly are. But the only person we're really hiding from is ourselves. And the only real hiding is not to the world, but to ourselves. And we'll cover up and we'll stay chained to a very divided way of looking at ourselves, there'll be an inner division inside of that habit of being afraid to be seen, and being afraid to be vulnerable, to be open, to be honest, and to be brutally naked. And nakedness there's even a taboo around it, and everything to do with nakedness and sexuality. There's a taboo around that. Whoa, we're not even allowed to talk about it. We're not even allowed to bring it out. It's something that should be covered up. It's something that should be hidden. I'm not really comfortable going there, and yet this is causing twisted versions of our sexuality in the way it manifests in the world. This is causing twisted versions of who we think we are as human beings, and we're not comfortable being in our own bodies, so that we think we need to change our bodies and maybe even become a different sex, for example, or become a different person in some way, as if the insecurities and the fears and the self-doubts will go away in that process. The devil asks us to be super aware and super conscious of the chains that are tied around our necks that stop us from actually feeling free, that stop us from actually surrendering to the truth of who we are. And it's like a surrender, because we have to actively surrender and let go of a belief that no longer serves us, that keeps us trapped in lower vibrational reality and stops us from throwing these wands of inspiration up into the air and getting inspired, getting intuitive messages from the universe, because we're trapped and we're addicted and we're just habitually connected to these ancestral fears around shame, around being seen, around being ourselves and being who we are. So it becomes very difficult to really feel that inspirational energy of life, that spurting of creativity that's come to create change and transformation in our life. It's difficult to embody that truth when we can't surrender the attachments that we actually have, because we're not aware enough of the attachments that we have to lower vibrational ideas. And these lower vibrational ideas come in the form of, hey, it's not okay to be yourself. It's not okay to be naked. It's not okay to be seen. It's more important to hide. It's safer for you to hide because you could get hurt if. We have all these fears around being vulnerable and honest and being seen. We have fears of judging because we judge ourselves. And these judgments and these false beliefs are exactly what the devil has come to tell us about. Two more cards that came up that I'm going to speak about too briefly are these two. And this is this. When we're stuck in these patterns, we'll look at this 3 to begin with first of all. When we're stuck in the patterns of the devil, and when the devil really integrates his, or when the beliefs that the devil has come to shine a light upon are the ones which are most fed, are the beliefs of self-doubt and the beliefs of self-judgment and the beliefs that instigate and create fear in our lives, where those beliefs and those ideas that are fundamentally false in nature but have become so real and so true in society that we buy into them because all of our ancestors have all bought into these ideas and all of our forefathers have done so and everybody around us does so. So why shouldn't we? And in that nature, it's very easy to feel like this interaction with the world around us is not actually helping us take action into creating something more beautiful and positive for ourselves, because the world around us is a mirror of these same beliefs that we ourselves feel attached to. And it's very difficult to stand alone upon this bench and give more importance to our own actions and to what we do and to our own inner connection with our truth than the societal story, than our inherited story, than our ancestral lineage, and give importance to that. And we naturally will give importance to all of those influences that are around us, and find it very difficult to create this honest inner dialogue. And that honest inner dialogue is the key to our freedom. It's the key to really being true to who we are, and consequently allow who we are to be seen by somebody else, and not just somebody else, but maybe all of the world to see who we truly are. And this is when we actually make a choice to leave one perspective and journey through these emotional waters, calming the fears as we bump into them, calming the waves as we push through them, allow ourselves to surrender the past and let go of the shores which we have been encamped in all of our lives, and consciously choose to direct ourselves to new ways of thinking and new perspectives of ourselves and our lives, new perspective of who we are. And it comes from having this new perspective of our darker nature, of the demons and the devil inside of us. They're not. This is not our evil side. This is not our all-powerful ego. No, this is the fragile, part of ourself that's been passed down and inherited from generation to generation, and it's an idea and it's a belief and it's a set of fundamental core beliefs that are so ingrained in our subconscious that we are unconsciously chained to them. So let the devil in to show, hey, you're chained to this, you're addicted to this belief that you're not good enough, that you're not beautiful, that you're not freaking amazing just the way you are. You're addicted to that idea so strongly, and look at what it's creating in your body. Look at the forms and the shapes and the illnesses and the insecurities and the fears that's creating on your emotional self. And become aware of this. Allow this awareness of this dark subconscious patterns to enter into our lives, and then just choose to break out of that box. Make a choice to break out of that box so that we can send our mind soaring and say, hey, maybe there's a new way of thinking, maybe there's a more positive way of thinking, something that's going to pull me out and take me away from this very common belief that I am not worthy, not good enough, that I need to be afraid in order to be safe in life. Let me find the courage to stand up and make action that is contrary to my conditioning, contrary to maybe the influences of those people around us, and to consciously guide myself from where I may have been most of my life to where I actually choose and want to be. Have a fantastic day, week, month. Hope you enjoy this new moon reading, and love to hear your comments. Have a great day.